You may or may or not remember, way back when we first started talking about Brexit. One of the very first things I really did was I went out and I tried to get a hold of as many books about Brexit, trying to understand just what was going on and, in general, what was happening. So you may remember this is my very first interaction with Ian Dunt, and I say this now in all sincerity. I think Ian Dunt will be remembered as one of the journalists in history that really, wrote honestly and truly about Brexit. Now he wasn't the only one, but this was my first real wake up call, because when I first started, I really didn't understand how it was really going to affect the UK as a whole and be even worse than it is, and just the drama that's happened over the 4 years that we've covered, and just the absolute calamity that literally awaits us probably this week. So expect probably maybe more videos than usual this week, because I think you could see a lot of action very quickly this week. But not just this book. We also went through, I still maintain this is again a really good book to read. It's called The Great Brexit Swindle by T.J. Coles. Super good book. Definitely even now still worth a read, because one of the things we have said constantly is the whole thing, the people behind Brexit did this for an exact reason. They did it to swindle people out of their futures, out of just essentially so that they could get a bit more money for themselves. You may have heard me say the quote before, that the whole reason for Brexit doesn't increase the size of the pie for the UK. What it does is it shrinks the pie so that the elites have essentially a bigger slice of that pie. That quote that often comes from this book. And I'm just going to quickly just go over this, because it's definitely worth a read. So go out, buy it. It's a really good read. So just a quick blurb from the back. So if you vote to leave the European Union, the chances are you've been swindled. In his urgent new book, T.J. Coles uncovers the forces seeking to uncouple Britain from the European Union. Allied to an expanding core of free market fanatics in the Conservative Party is a powerful group of globalists and financial traders. Their political ideology is neoliberalism, a worldwide agenda that seeks to deregulate markets and maximise profits for the global elites at the expense of the working people. The effect is a growing gap internationally between rich and poor. And that pretty much sums up the book. But definitely go and read it, because this comes back to, once again, something we went through in that book years ago. That about completing the Thatcher revolution. And all the people today are, we've called them before, the children of Thatcher. They are set on one thing: completing that revolution. And lo and behold, this is what we're going to get. So, this comes from The Guardian. Labour calls Rishi Sunak's plan for UK jobs a throwback to the Thatcher era. Labour has called for stronger action to prevent a winter surge in unemployment after releasing figures that show the UK government is providing less generous wage support to employers than other major European countries. Remember, this is the Conservative Party, meant to be the party of business and supporting British businesses during what is probably the most difficult time a government has probably ever seen for British businesses. Ain't even anywhere offering close. Like I say, the longest furlough time in Europe is about 24 months. Ours was 8, and it ends at the end of this month. So, the Shadow Chancellor, Angelina Dodds, accused Rishi Sunak of adopting a sink or swim approach as Labour published a report unfavourably comparing the Treasury's job support scheme with what was on offer in Germany, France and the Netherlands. The opposition party said that in three of the sectors most at risk of seeing significant job losses in the coming months, hospitality, manufacturing and the arts, entertainment and recreation, employers in the UK had much less of an incentive to employ staff part-time. It said employees who wanted to bring 2 staff back for half the working week instead of keeping 1 employee on full-time and making the other redundant faced much higher wage costs in the UK than other countries in the 3 Eurozone countries. In his winter economic plan last month, the Chancellor announced the replacement of the government's furlough scheme with what was called the Job Support Scheme, under which an employee who is working at least a third of the normal hours has their pay topped off by the state and their employer. Labour said that for someone working half-time, the cost to the employer across the 3 sectors was twice as large in the UK as in France and two-thirds higher in the Netherlands, and German employers pay no wage top-ups for those working part-time. Sunak said that his £1,000 job retention bonus, or JRB, which is payable for every worker brought back off furlough and kept on payroll until next January, provides an incentive for employees to retain staff. However, Labour said that even if the 2 UK workers qualified for JRB, on top of the Job Support Scheme payout, wage costs remain significantly higher. In the manufacturing, the difference in wage costs for UK businesses employing 2 workers on median earnings half-time compared to 1 full-time was £197 a week, or £159 a week once the JRB was taken into account. That compared with £118 a week in the Netherlands and £83 a week in France, and of course nothing in Germany. Dodd said the Chancellor should have introduced a job recovery scheme that invested in employers to keep more staff on. Instead, his JSS makes it more expensive to bring back staff than many other international schemes. Visible businesses just need support to cope with the restrictions the government has imposed on them. They pin their hopes on the Chancellor to deliver, but he is forcing them to flip a coin over who stays and who goes. This wasn't by accident. It was by design. The Chancellor's sink or swim job support scheme is a throwback to the worst days of Thatcher, and just like in the 1980s, people on the lowest incomes will pay the highest price. The Treasury said that the total UK support had been higher than France's and around the same as Germany's. A spokesperson for them said, "The JSS is targeted to prove that employees have told us provide what employers have told us what they need. Support to keep employees on whilst they are experiencing lower demand with greater flexibility. Our unprecedented and comprehensive package of support has helped millions of businesses and individuals across the UK get through this crisis, and the scheme is just one part of that." Absolutely not in any way is this going to help a lot of businesses. Just those 3 areas. Indeed, the arts itself, the local theatre that's near me, the Lamproom Theatre, that hasn't had a show since almost the beginning of March. They've had no income. They were hoping throughout all the summer that this would be over, what Boris had said, that it would be over by Christmas, because they were hoping that they could get the panto crowd back in, and that would help, save them up. Now, they've had to do other things to try and at least get some sort of form of income. All their employees are on, furlough, but that ends at the beginning of next month. And as was said there, it's more expensive to bring 2 people back for half, for part-time work than it is to keep 1 full-time employee. So it literally is, you've got to flip a coin and hope you keep your job. And that is, for a lot of workers in those sectors, you must feel incredibly uncomfortable knowing what could potentially be coming. We are looking in the UK at such a massive rise in unemployment. It is going to be absolutely terrifying. Not only that, you've got to couple this on top of a possibility. We hope that Boris does at least the sensible thing and just decides to, capitulate and get a deal. Otherwise, if he does a no deal, This is going to make our situation even worse. And, you know, I'm lost for words. I really am. But it's funny to think only a few months ago that so many people were praising Rishi Sunak for this amazing furlough thing. And I too said, good on the Conservatives for doing this, but, it doesn't go far enough. And what has happened? It's typical Tory short-sightedness. All the other countries that had furlough have extended theirs. Germany extended theirs. Although the countries have done, similar things or have done other stuff to, help their industries. The thing is, Ricky here has just gone, all right, I'm going to do a one-size-fits-all package, and if it works for the majority of businesses, great, but other businesses and other sectors are going to fall through the gaps. As was said, that was very clearly by design, because those sectors that currently the Tories don't care about. And remember, we've talked before about how the Tories are meant to be the party of business. They aren't the party of British business, I'll tell you that now. Otherwise, they would be doing a lot more to help support British businesses. But with that said, thanks for watching. Please do hit that like and subscribe button. And of course, if you are new to the channel, we do talk about British politics and Brexit a lot on this channel. So please do hit that subscribe button. If you would like to support the channel in a different way, there is my Patreon link down below, as well as a one-off donation link should you like to support me in that way. And thank you to all the people that do. And with that said, thanks for watching, and we'll see you all next time.